Hello everyone, welcome to the History Academy. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos. In this session, we are going to start the revision for grade 11. So already we have uploaded the first lesson of grade 10 under our history revision program, and this is the first chapter of grade 11 under the revision series or revision episodes, right? So the first chapter of grade 11 we are going to revise that. Already we have uploaded a theory video under the industrial revolution. If you haven't watched that, you can watch it from the link in the above description, right? So I have uploaded all three videos dividing the whole lesson into three sections. So this is the revision of the industrial revolution. So basically, we will do this revision as three videos. The first video will explain about the background for industrial revolution and the immediate environments or the immediate sectors which the industrial revolution at the first spread, and then the descent of the industrial revolution to expand to other areas and other countries. In the third video, we are going to explain about the changes due to this industrial revolution, right? So now let's start the background for the industrial revolution, right? So what is mean by revolution? Revolution is simply a change occurring in a certain field. For example, a change occurred in the political system of Russia, we call that as Russian revolution. The change that occurred in the political system of other countries like America, we call that as American revolution, right? So in Cuba, the political change occurred, we call that as the Cuban revolution. So in that way, the revolution is a change that occurs in a particular field. So industrial revolution means the revolution occurred in the industrial sector or the industrial field. So before industrial revolution in Britain, everything was produced using the manual labor. That means the labor was hired in order to do the all activities related to textile industry, related to coal industry, related to iron and steel industry, and many more, even transportation, agriculture, and those industries. But once the industrial revolution began in Britain, everything was done using the machine. So the main change which occurred in the industrial revolution is the whole world, right? So at the beginning, the Britain became industrialized country. That means the whole world is now using the industrialization, using the machines due to the industrial revolution which occurred in the Great Britain, right? Okay, so they have given us an introduction. So as I explained you, the broad change generated by man in the industrial and technological field within a period of about 6 decades by producing goods with the help of machines. So as I told you, the main change which occurred in the field is in the sector is the using of help of machines, right? So the goods were produced with the help of machines rather than producing them using manual labor, right? So before the industrial revolution, everything was produced using the manual labor, and after the industrial revolution, they produced goods with the help of machines, right? So this was the main reason for the emergence of the trade or the development of the trade is due to the industrial revolution, right? So in the first part, let's study about the beginning and development of industrial revolution, right? So industrial revolution began towards the latter part of 18th century in Britain, right? So at the beginning, eventually in Britain, industrial revolution is started. Even for another half century, that means for 50 years, still this industrial revolution was in the hands of Britain, and any country didn't practice this industrial revolution. But by the 19th century, the influence of the industrial revolution is spread to other countries in Europe and the rest of the world. So simply what we understand through this paragraph is at the beginning it was the Britain who practiced the industrial revolution, and by the 19th century even it was spread to other countries in Europe and as well as rest of the world, right? So first it was began in Britain. So what was the main reason for the emergence of industrial revolution? That means what is the main reason for producing goods with the help of machines? It was the trade, right? So trade means buying and selling of goods, or we say exchange of goods. So the trade was the major reason for emergence of industrial revolution. So the trade is the main reason. We have to understand that. When the situation of Europe in 18th century is analyzed, it can be seen that France, Portugal, and Spain, other than Britain, engaged themselves in colonizations and extensive trade. Right. So trade was the main reason for industrial revolution. By the 18th century, many countries were trying to capture the other countries. That means they were engaging colonization, and due to that, there was an extensive trade. Even the Dutch and Portuguese came to Sri Lanka due to the trade benefits, right? So therefore, it is important to inquire into the reasons why such a revolution became, right? So why this industrial revolution, the way of producing goods with help of machines, is started in Britain, right? So why is that? So we are going to study about that. So these are the reasons. At the beginning, we had the kind of introductions to the lesson, and now we are going to learn about why industrial revolution began in Britain. At that time, even many countries in Europe was powerful, but it became the industrial revolution was started at the beginning. Financial and commercial affairs started developing in Europe since the 16th century and by 18th century. In trade, Britain has surpassed some other leading European countries. That means the Britain is in the front part of the trade. That means they had a good leadership in the trade. They had the trade in their hand. As a result of trade in Britain, a wealthy class who could invest money on industries was created. The first reason why industrial revolution began in Britain is as a result, wealthy class who could invest money on industries were created. Due to the trade and commercial affairs in Britain, there was a wealthy class. Due to that, that wealthy class had the potential to invest their money on industries. So because of that, in Britain, the industrial revolution started. The second reason, population of Britain, which resulted in a high demand for goods, right? So not like before 18th century. After 18th century, the population of Britain increased. So when the population increases, the needs of population increases. So because of that, they had to see some alternatives in the production of goods and services to meet the increasing demand. Because of the population increase in Britain, industrial revolution started to produce a huge amount of goods and services through the machines or by using industry. So this led to a development in the industrial sector. And the third reason is there was an expansion of the knowledge. So they had the knowledge of inventing machines. So this scientific knowledge is the main reason for beginning of industrial revolution in Britain. There was an expansion of the knowledge of science as a result of Renaissance that took place in Europe in 14th and 15th century. So this knowledge was used in producing new machinery. As I told you, this scientific knowledge is very much important. So the first one is wealthy class who could invest money was created due to trade. The second reason, population of Britain, which resulted in high demand for goods. The third reason is the scientific knowledge the British had. And then the fourth reason, minerals such as iron and steel were found abundant in Britain. Due to that, they were able to develop the iron and steel industry. By that, they could be able to produce many machines, right? So the fourth reason is minerals such as iron and steel were abundant in Britain. Not only that, even coal, which played a major role in producing energy, was available in Britain. So those are some of the reasons why industrial revolution started in Britain. So there was a heavy population in contemporary kingdoms such as France. The development of trade was limited. Why is that? Because Britain had many colonies under them. They had captured many countries. So for those colonies, they imposed commercial laws. That means if, for example, if India or Sri Lanka was under Britain, then Britain are imposing a law stating that the Sri Lankans or Indians cannot have trade relationships, exchanging of goods for other countries unless they exchange goods with Britain, right? So that is the commercial law. That means imposing law in order to restrict the commercial relationships of their colonies. Thus, Britain was able to maintain a high demand for their production, right? So Britain had only one way, it is to export their goods to their colony. So in their colonies, there was a highly demand for British products. For example, they have given an example. In India, there was a high demand for British cotton clothes. Why is that? Because India got only clothes from the Britain. So there was an increase in demand for British cotton clothes. They did not have the ability to increase the production. So once the demand increases, they have to increase the production with the demand. But since they didn't have the technology or the production methods to increase the production with the demand, they search for other alternatives. As a result of that, industrial revolution occurred with a huge amount of machines, introducing a huge amount of machines. Because of high demand existed for Britain products, those arose a needing increase in the production, right? So the fifth reason is due to commercial laws. There was a demand for Britain products in the other colonies or the countries. So due to that, British had to increase their production with the demand. And then there were several changes in agricultural field. That means the rich landowners combined small pieces of land belong to poor farmers and made large farms. For example, if poor farmers have like 1 acre, 1 acre, 1 acre farms, the rich landowners used to combine those farms and make a mega farming unit. So due to that, these poor farmers who did a very simple kind of agriculture moved to the cities, right? So since they didn't have jobs, they lost their land, they go for the cities in search of jobs. So due to that, due to this extra labor that was generated, was able to use in the industrial development. That means these farmers who lost their land went to the cities in search of jobs. So in the cities, due to industrialization, they got many jobs, right? So due to the encroaching movement. So what is encroaching movement? Which landowners combined small pieces of land that belong to poor farmers and made large farms, right? So this is encroaching movement. Due to that, the poor farmers lost their land, they migrated to the city. So due to that, there was an extra labor generated. They were able to use in the industrial development, right? And then unlike in other countries, in Britain, talented individuals had the opportunity to earn money irrespective of their social status. For example, in France, only the aristocrats who are well recognized in the society had the ability to earn much as they need. But in Britain, unlike in those countries, they didn't respect the social status, but they had the freedom to earn much as they need. That means there was a free social environment. So the other reason, the seventh reason is the free social environment in the attitude supported the spread of novel ideas, right? So due to that, there were emergence of new banks and financial organizations that provided capital. And then the eighth reason, the political stability. For example, other than Britain, at that time in other countries, there was no such a kind of developed political stability. But in Britain, there was a political stability. Even the parliament provided the freedom, tax relief, and support to engage in the business activities. So all due to these reasons, industrial revolution developed. And then compared with other countries, Britain had the most conducive environment for industrial revolution because it is a small island, ability to build a web of markets throughout the country, ability to charge high prices for productions, and London city being a center that distributed raw materials. So London city was very helpful in this industrial revolution by distributing raw materials, capitals, and products. This helped Britain to surpass other countries in the industrial production field, right? So once again, we have studied about the what is mean by industrial revolution and then the beginning in Britain and the reasons for the emergence of industrialization in Britain. Now we are going to move to the main three industries in which the industrial revolution is spread at the beginning, right? So what are those industries? We are going to learn them one by one. So the first one is textile industry. As we already learned, even in India, there was a high demand for British cotton clothes. So textile producers in Britain faced the challenge of increasing their textile products. As I told you, there was a demand, but they didn't have any methods to increase their production. Why is that? Because there was no any developed industrialization. So there was a flying shuttle John Kay invented in 1733, but the slowness in preparing threads needed in weaving clothes, right? So in order to meet that demand, in order to produce that much of cloth, they didn't have a technology. At that time, threads produced by 6 thread makers per day were only enough for one weaver. That means one weaver worked for a day by the thread produced by 6 thread makers. That means there was a huge problem in producing the threads in the cotton spinning. So because of that, in 1764, James Hargreaves produced a machine called Jenny for cotton weaving. That was the second invention in the textile industry. Then the third invention is 1769. Richard Arkwright produced a more efficient water-powered spinning wheel. It is known as water turbine, right? So at the beginning, John Kay invented the flying shuttle, and then Jenny was invented by James Hargreaves, and Richard Arkwright invented a water turbine in order to increase the cotton spinning. But in Arkwright's creation, there was a problem. Why is that? Because it was difficult to be used in houses because very big in size. So the big in size is one problem in Arkwright's creation. Other one is because a fast tide of water was needed to run the cotton spinning machine. So this is Jenny, which was invented by James Hargreaves for cotton spinning. So this is the Arkwright's water spinning machine. In this water spinning machine, there were two problems. In the essay type questions, there will be kind of questions like this in the picture description. So they will ask, what is this creation? Then you have to write a spinning machine. Who invented this? Richard Arkwright. What are the two problems they faced? The first one is big in size was one problem, big in size, and the other one is due to a fast tide of water was needed. Fast tide of water needed in using, right? So fast tide of water was needed in using. So this is the first difficulty, and this is the second difficulty in using the water powered spinning machine produced by Richard Arkwright. And then there was another creation of Samuel Crompton, who used functioning principles of spinning jenny. So he used the spinning jenny's kind of techniques, and he produced the machine called Mool in 1779, Samuel Crompton. And then in 1781, Edwin Cartwright developed this mule by steam power. So mule was mainly basically introduced by Samuel Crompton, but once again, Edmund Cartwright developed this mule by using steam power. Thus, within a period of about 30 years, new machines and novel technical methods were invented to develop the weaving industry, right? So, this is the first industry that we are learning under the industrial revolution. So, the first one is textile industry, and the second one we are going to move to the iron and steel industry, right? So, iron ore where we can get iron was abundance in Britain. That means there were many ore deposits are found in abundance in Britain. British people produced iron and steel even before, but to make weapons, agricultural equipment, and household tools. Even before Industrial Revolution, Britain people produced the iron for their household activities. So in this way, they used firewood to smelt ore for this purpose. It was difficult to meet the huge demand. So due to that, in order to smelting ore, they used coal, right? So the using of coal to smelting ore was found by Abraham Darby in 1730. So Abraham Darby used coal, and then they produced molded iron. In 1784, tempered iron could be produced with the invention of roller machine by Henry Ford. So Abraham Darby uses coal to smelt, and then the invention of roller machine by Henry Ford in 1784, tempered iron could be produced. And then Henry Bessemer found a new method to produce steel by removing dirt from iron. So by removing dirt from iron, Henry Bessemer found a new method. So this is the third invention under the iron and steel industry. So the invention of open oven method in 1860 by developing the above-mentioned method. So Abraham Darby used coal and roller by Henry Ford. Henry Bessemer by produced steel by removing dirt. Then open oven was produced by another person. Steel could be produced cheaply and quickly in this method, right? So by removing dirt from iron, Henry Bessemer invented an open oven. Steel could be produced cheaply and quickly, right? So what are the benefits of this open oven? Steel could be produced, right? So benefit of this open oven is steel could be produced cheaply and quickly. Steel could be produced cheaply and quickly. So this is the benefit of the open oven, right? So steel could be produced cheaply and quickly. And then another person, Wilhelm Siemens, right? So Wilhelm Siemens in 1870 helped the improvement of iron and steel industry. This new creation paved the way for a rapid development, right? So this Wilhelm Siemens is using an electric oven to smelt ore, right? So at the beginning they used coal, but Wilhelm Siemens used an electric oven. So who are the four people who developed this iron and steel industry? Abraham Darby, and then Henry Ford, Henry Bessemer's open oven, and here making an electric oven to smelt ore by Wilhelm Siemens, right? So this is the development of iron and steel industry. So now let's move to the third industry, coal industry, right? Even Britain, same like iron industry, there are so many coal mines, right? So by the mines we can extract the coal. For example, in South Wales, Yorkshire, and Lancashire are some places. Coal was popular as a cheap and efficient fuel for smelting ore, running machines, and household chores. So the demand for coal increased with the industrial development. So with the industrial development, the demand increases, but there was no method to extract this coal. Why is that? Because they face two problems, right? So in the coal industry, what are the two problems they have faced? The first problem is they have given here problem of removing water in the mine. Problem of removing water from the mine, right? So this is the first problem they have faced in the extraction of coal. The second one is inside the mine when it was dug deep, poisonous gases. So the second one is poisonous gases found in the mine when it was dug deep, right? So when it was dug deep in order to extract coal, the poisonous gas. And the third one is increasing heat and providing light, right? So the third one is heat, increasing heat in the mine, and problem of providing some light, providing light in the mining process, providing light. So we have to kind of summarize. You can write in your book as well. So the first one is problem of removing water. Second one, poisonous gases found in the mine. Third one, increasing heat, and problem of providing light. So these are the three problems in the coal industry, right? So how they solve that? Thomas Newcomen invented the steam engine in 1735 to pump water out of the mine and artificially cool the air, right? So now this problem was also solved. So this problem of removing water is solved by the Thomas Newcomen. The second one, it was inefficient and could not be used in other industries. So Thomas Newcomen can be used only in coal industry but cannot be used in other industries. Therefore, James Watt developed a new steam engine that could be used in many industries, right? So it can be used in either of these three things, many industries. So this is the steam engine produced by James Watt, which can be used in many industries. This is a picture of steam engine by Thomas Newcomen. And then the third problem, increase of heat and providing light. This was solved when the Humphrey Davy produced the safety lamp to provide light inside the mine. So this is the safety lamp by the Humphrey Davy. So due to that, even the third problem was solved, right? So under the coal industry, the third one is Humphrey Davy produced the safety lamp. So here they have given a small paragraph. In 1839, a method was found to take coal using iron cable instead of old method. So earlier coal was taken using men and women and children, but in 1839, due to industrialization, iron cables were used to take coal. So what are the uses of the coal? So we can summarize this one into many parts. Development of coal this industry resulted in several byproducts. So by using coal, we can produce tar, right? So what are the uses of the coal? Producing tar, and then producing paints were produced, right? And also dyes, right? So dyeing clothes were made with the help of cloth, right? So clothes dye were used. Clothes dye were produced by using the coal, and then it was produced medicine, perfumes, oil, fertilizer, right? So coal was used to produce medicines, perfumes, oil, and fertilizers. So these are some of the uses of the uh, coal industry, right? So by using coal, they produce these tar, paint, clothes, dye, medicines, perfumes, oil, fertilizers, right? So due to the development of the coal industry, there were many byproducts as well, right? So this is the safety lamp produced by Humphrey Davy. So in the next video, let's study about the expansion of industrial revolution to other fields and other countries, right? So today in this video, we have explained about the background for industrial revolution and reasons for emergence of industrial revolution in Britain, and then what are the key primary industries where industrial revolution was based on: textile, iron and steel, coal. There were many inventions, so you have to remember these inventions as well as inventors also, right? So hope you all understood this. On the next day, let's start the expansion of industrial revolution. So leave the honest comments in the comment section, right? So you can leave a comment about the next video. Either it can be map marking video or a essay type video, or it will be a revision video as well. So you can comment what you need in the next videos, next series of videos, right? So for today, let's end this and hope you all understood this. Let's meet with another video. Thanks for watching.